and members of City Council. My name is Dale Rademacher. I'm the Director of Public Works and Natural Resources for the City of Longmont. With me here this evening is Ken Hewson, the city's Water Resources Administrator. Ken and I are here tonight to give you a presentation on the 2012 Water Supply and Drought Management Plan for the City of Longmont. Specifically, what we'd like to look for from City Council in the form of action items at your meeting tonight is that, first of all, that you would receive the report from the staff regarding the status of the city's 2012 water supply. Secondly, we would like you to consider and approve the 2012 Water Supply and Drought Management Plan, and Ken is going to give you more details on that plan in a minute. Third, we'd like you to also receive and consider the recommendation from the city's Water Board, which is to remain at the Sustainable Drought Response level. And again, Ken is going to talk to us more about what that means to be at a Sustainable Drought Response level for the City of Longmont. And then finally, we'd like you to receive information regarding the city's 2012 annual water surplus rental program. And so as staff is putting together the information regarding the city's water supply and drought management plan, part of the information that we take into consideration is the current water supply and snowpack. The chart that I'm showing you now is from the Natural Resources and Conservation Service, which provides information and tracks snowpack and makes water supply projections for many areas of the country, including Colorado. The current slide that I'm showing you is for the South Platte River Basin, which is where Longmont derives about 2/3 of its water supply from the Saint Vrain Creek. Currently, you'll notice that the black line is showing the water supply for 2012, and you'll notice that we're only about 35% of average and only 23% of where we were last year. You'll also notice that the current line for 2012 is starting to approach the minimum levels that we've seen in the South Platte for the recent years of history. This next slide shows the similar information for the Upper Colorado River Basin, which is where the city derives its Colorado Big Thompson water as well as its Windy Gap supplies. Similar to the South Platte, the Upper Colorado River Basin is also experiencing a very low snowpack at only about 23% of average and only about 15% of where we were last year. Both of these numbers are quite low. And are approaching conditions where we were in 2002. And it was in 2002 that the city experienced one of the more severe droughts on record. And at that time, that is when the city staff, together with the City Water Board and the Longmont City Council, initiated this effort of putting together a water supply and drought management plan. What we found during that drought was that we needed to do more advanced planning and preparation in order to respond to the drought conditions as they unfolded. It also allows us to look not just at this year's water supply, but also to look forward into the future and to make projections with regards to water supply and demands in 1 to 2 years into the future. And again, Ken is going to give us more information about that in his presentation. We believe that water supply planning is crucial in order to continue to provide our citizens and our overall community with a reliable supply of clean and safe water. And so, Ken, I'd like to turn it over to you to talk a little bit more about what it means to be at a sustainable water conservation level for Longmont.
Thank you, Dale. I'd like to present a few details of the city's sustainable water conservation level at this time. The first item that we follow in a sustainable water conservation level is continued public information efforts by the city. We get out both information about the water supply, and we also work to provide water conservation messages to our citizens to continue our water conservation efforts. The second thing we do is implement voluntary measures for water use reduction, both in municipal uses in areas such as our parks and golf courses, as well as team with the Saint Vrain School District to provide water conservation efforts on school facilities. The third thing we do is provide voluntary water conservation best management practices and a voluntary watering schedule, both day and time of day, for our Longmont customers to team with them in water conservation. And then finally, staff continues to monitor and report on the city's water supply and drought conditions in the case that we have a possibility of needing to move from a sustainable conservation level to a level 1 drought response. We'd like to highlight for our citizens the voluntary lawn watering schedule. We asked at all times that residential, even addresses would water on Sunday and Thursday, that residential addresses with odd addresses water on Wednesday and Saturday, and then all non-residential watering would occur on Thursday and Friday. That allows to have no watering on Mondays, which allows staff to replenish water supplies in our storage reservoirs and work on our system. Finally, city staff took these recommendations to Water Board, who looked at both our water supply and the drought management plan, and recommended to City Council that we remain at a sustainable water conservation level at this time. Also, we'd like to provide some information on the city's current water supply. The photo we have before you right now is Ralph Price Reservoir, which is also known as Button Rock Dam. Ralph Price is located west of the town of Lyons on the North Saint Vrain Creek and is the city's primary water supply reservoir. In the water supply and drought management plan appendix, we have what we call Table A, and Table A is the actual detail for the city's water supply and what we project not only for this year, but 2 years into the future. One of the aspects of the drought management plan is that the city looks at not only the current year water supply, but also 2 years into the future to ensure that any water use this year doesn't impact our ability to continue to deliver water supply in the future. On Table A, the top line is the CBT quota declaration, and you notice for 2012 is set at 90%. That is one of the higher quotas that we've had issued in the CBT system. That quota is issued by the Northern Colorado Water Conservancy District Board of Directors and was set at 90% this year. That fairly high quota declaration means that we have a fairly abundant trans-basin water supply, which if you look a little bit lower on Table A, you'll see trans-basin water rights at 20,157 acre-feet, which is one of the highest trans-basin supplies we've had for a number of years. Going down from the top, the second through fourth lines are our direct flow water right decrees. Longmont is lucky enough to have some fairly senior water right decrees, so even during times of drought, such as this year, our water rights still tend to yield fairly well. The first line under the water rights decrees is our direct flow water right decrees, and those are transferred water rights from water that had historically irrigated land that annexed into Longmont. Those water right decrees are projected to yield about 7,000 acre-feet this year. The next line is what we call our 1929 transfer decrees, which is a fairly old transfer of some water rights, irrigation water rights, and we expect those to yield about 1,500 acre-feet this year. And the third line is what we call our pipeline decrees, or the original decrees that Longmont filed in 1882 and 1902 for direct flow diversion off the creek, and we are projecting those to yield about 1,900 acre-feet. The second major source of water supply for Longmont are storage decrees, and we have two categories. And the next one is called the reservoir storage decrees, and we project those at about 1,900 acre-feet. Those are storage decrees from reservoirs down on the plains, such as Pleasant Valley Reservoir, also known as Terry Lake, just north of town, and other reservoirs on the plains that we have transferred up to our water treatment plant for use. The second one is reservoir storage available for release at about 4,900 acre-feet, 4,300 acre-feet, excuse me, and those are storage decrees for reservoirs such as Ralph Price Reservoir that Longmont owns, that we control and deliver into our system. The next line, again, was the trans-basin water rights at 20,000 acre-feet. Those water rights are primarily from storage in the Colorado Big Thompson project and allocated on a yearly basis to Longmont. Once we add all those numbers up, we have what is our total water supply. The first thing we do is we subtract 2,500 acre feet off of the CBT amount, which we are allowed to carry over into the CBT amount for future years. That ensures us that we have additional supply going into future years for use after this year. The last one is water rental and leases, which we also call our surplus water rental. We are projecting about 7,800 acre feet of surplus water rentals this year. Those two numbers, the 2,578, are taken off of the supply, yielding approximately 25,900 acre feet that we project will have available for use for this year. Below that line is our projection for our water demands at our water treatment plants this year, which is 17,600 acre feet, slightly above last year's demand of 17,100 acre feet. Looking at the 25,000 acre feet of supply and the 17,000 acre feet of demand provides us with 147% water supply. When we project out the next 2 years, we at 144% and 136%. All three of those numbers are greater than the trigger we have for moving from a sustainable water supply to a level 1 drought declaration, which is 135%. So it shows Longmont's water picture this year, even though we're entering into a drought this year, is fairly good because of the storage water we have available. Just to provide a little bit of detail about our surplus water rental program, Longmont operates a surplus water rental program to help local water users who need water, especially during times of drought like this. Our rental programs are composed of normally 3, sometimes 4 components. This year we have what's called a historic lease back. We do lease back some water to those properties that have annexed into Longmont and provided the water that is on their property but have not yet developed and wish to continue in agricultural production of that property until it develops. Our second category is school district supplies that we provide the Saint Vrain Valley School District. We annually rent the first 1,000 acre feet of our surplus to the school district to help keep our critical sports fields and school facilities irrigated. The third category is the surplus rental program. We team with the local Saint Vrain and Left Hand Water Conservancy District to rent surplus water to some of the area farms and ranches to keep the quality of life around Longmont and the agricultural properties viable during, especially during times of drought like this when we do have some surplus. And then finally, this year we also are leasing some surplus water to the Platte River Power Authority for use as collateral water because the Windy Gap water supply that they use to generate our electricity is not available this year, and they have to use CBT water to back up that Windy Gap supply. Yearly, we come to City Council with a surplus water rental program, and it is approved by resolution late summer each year for the next water year. The current surplus water rental program is operating under Resolution 2011-75. Currently, there are a number of requests for the surplus water rental program run by the Saint Vrain Left Hand Water Conservancy District. There's approximately 7,000 to 9,000 acre feet of requests in that program, and we're currently projecting we'd have about 2,000 acre feet of water available for that program. So we are not going to be able to meet that entire demand this year, but we'll certainly be able to help out with that local amount. As you may recall, on Table A, we did show a total of about 7,800 acre feet of water for the total surplus water rental program for all 4 of those categories in 2012. Finally, if any of the citizens or council are interested in additional information or have questions on our water supply, there's a number of areas you can go to get additional information. The Water Department will be keeping up some status on our website, on the front page, www.ci.longmont.co.us, and you can link from there to a lot of this information. If there are specific questions, feel free to call our call center or directly to Water Resources staff, or email us, and we'll be happy to try to answer those questions. Our telephone numbers and email addresses are on this slide. Finally, we would like to thank Council and the citizens for their interest in our water supply. We look forward to continuing to monitor our water supply to provide the highest quality, dependable water supply for our citizens, and to provide timely information to both Council and the citizens. We'd like to thank you for your time, and staff will be available at the Council meeting tonight to answer any questions that might come up about our 2012 water supply. Thank you.